raised without any pressure or influence regarding their spirituality or religious. Lucky you. I was raised in this hybrid super Catholicism that my mother invented. It was some weird, unique blend of her laws and the Vatican's. The Pope could not have found his way through the maze of dogma in our home. He'd still be traipsing around trying to find his way out. I was prohibited from studying, learning about, or attending any other thing besides Catholicism. Converting, out of the question. My two cousins, Mike and Paul, they converted. And this is how everybody talked about them. Like it was a dirty, shameful secret that no one could know about. In 2002, I read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, a power about spiritual enlightenment. I turned page by page, holding my breath, waiting for that punishment I knew was coming because I had crossed the line into the forbidden zone, searching for things I had no business searching for. Nothing happened. Absolutely nothing happened. I felt free. And in this liberated state, I started blazing through books, 5 to 10 a week, on anything about spirituality, metaphysics, quantum physics, you name it, laws of the universe, I was on it. Healers, masters, mystics, gurus, I was into all of it. I was on hyperdrive on my spiritual quest after 20 years of spiritual starvation. I had a few aha moments along the way. The first of which, we're in prayer all the time. Right now, as you're eating, sitting here listening to me, you're asking the universe for something, God, source, whatever you want to call it. This was big news to me. I learned to pray before supper and before dinner. I don't know what happened to breakfast and lunch. I guess they weren't deserving enough. But we never prayed before that. It was only supper and before bed. I thought that was my only window of opportunity to ask God that somehow it had to do with the moon and the sun, that was the only time that he was available. Now I've learned that everything you're thinking, every thought, every word, every action is basically a prayer. And the second big revelation was we're always being answered. And we're always being answered with a yes, even for the tiny, small, little things. For instance, I went to have coffee with a friend of mine one day. And in the midst of our conversation, she says, "Oh my God, Carol, I have this awesome book that I just got. It's called The Book of Knowing and Worth." And I'm like, oh my God, I love the name of that book. I've been working on Knowing and Worth this month. I have to have that book. I want that book. I'm getting that book. I have to read it. We go off in her car to have sushi. On the way back, she drops me off at my car and she says, "Reach in the back. There's a box back there. I grabbed it on my way out of the house. It's got my new book in it. We'll open it up and see what our message is for today." I reach behind, I get the box, I slit it open, hand her the box. She opens it and starts laughing hysterically. She says, "There's 2 books in here. I didn't order 2 books. I swear I only ordered 1. I guess this is yours." So in my universe, my prayers are answered pretty quickly, as long as I don't mess them up and start thinking how I can't have it. The second thing that I came to realize is, be careful what you wish for. This happened more than once to me. I took these 3 years of classes to become a healer, in the midst of which we had to write out our prayers, speak our prayers, practice our prayers all the time. And I got really good at it, but mine were elaborate and wordy, and I used big, juicy, descriptive words in my prayers. So one day I was practicing and said this prayer in my apartment about being flooded with goodness. Yes. I wake up the next morning, and something feels weird at my feet. They're wet. And I open my eyes. My ceiling is soaked and flooding into my room. I thought, okay, that's really great. There's the flood. Where's the good? Never did find that. Lastly, I think from those stories, you can tell that my universe, God, source, whatever you call it, is funny. There's a great sense of humor always. I was very miserable, bitter, and angry before I had read this book and started on my journey. But once I claimed my spiritual freedom, all of that turned around and I became much happier, saw the humor in everything, and have gotten much better at asking for what I want and keeping my thoughts on that during the day rather than what I don't want. In retrospect, if I hadn't had that feeling of persecution and strangulation almost regarding my religious upbringing, I probably wouldn't have had that catalyst, that spark that led me on this journey in such an enthusiastic way. So that reminds me that there's an opportunity in everything that we go through, whatever struggle we might perceive that we're in. There's always an opportunity within it. In my case, I'm much more tolerant of everybody else's religious beliefs and many of the other beliefs that they hold. We know that pearls are formed because of an irritant to the oyster. And in that same token, as you go through your day today, I would hope if you meet a challenge or a struggle, that you'll glance at that for a moment, but then look within it to find that pearl of opportunity. Thank you.